happening YouTube? It's now one day after IRONMAN Frankfurt. Today I'll do a quick debrief of the whole race. Everything that happened is still fresh in my brain, and I'll have a week holiday, and after that it's so much in the past, so I'm not gonna address it anymore. But let's get into swim, bike, run, everything that happened and everything that will change from this moving onward for the future. So leading up to this race I've changed a lot, mainly focus on rest, that I arrived fresh. That was the biggest factor, so we took a lot to rest between these key sessions. But already going in, I noticed that I felt aerobically, heart and cardio wise, fitness wise very good. And then when it comes to real strength and running hard intervals and those kind of things, I felt like there's something already before I knew that I have to work on. But let's go it step by step, starting with a swim. So swim was a lot of people starting, I think 88 people, fairly narrow channel. In the morning was really cool, everybody was pretty nervous and was ready to go. It was a really funny scenario as well, like it wasn't even started, it was 10 minutes before the start, but people started running in and it was really, everybody was really ready to go, so I had to pull them back, and that was cool. But from the swim it's tricky if you want to be in the front pack, for example. I started now, it's so packed and busy, it's so difficult with 80 people. I started I think in the third or fourth row, and even if I had the fitness to swim front pack, which I don't have yet, I still wouldn't have made it at that positioning. So around maybe. Anyways, one thing I wanted to do is that, you know, I start to swim, try to swim fast but remain calm and strong, because it's really easy with this nervous energy and you're like hyped and powered up, you kind of smash your arms around but you swim terrible. So actually doing like a calmer stroke helped a lot. And the whole swim, to be honest, it was first 1.5k and then it was Australian exit, and the rest of the swim it felt super easy breathing wise. So from around cardio, muscular and all that perspective, it was a very easy swim, probably one of the easiest Ironman swims I've done. And it was a non-wetsuit swim. I swam a high 52 minutes, which for me is very good for, I didn't do this in a wetsuit, non-wetsuit scenario, but it felt very easy. So, but it's with those groups, that's the thing. So I swam in a group there, and yeah, then I tried several times, I felt like this is too easy to then kind of push away. And then you get to 3-4 people, but you notice you're not moving, you know, that much quicker at that point. So I think the main thing is it's obvious, try to get in those good groups, and for that you have to start towards the front and have a very good first 200-400 meter. And I did some stroke changes before, which helped me super much, but I wasn't confident in doing that. It just needs more training at that stroke. And anyways, a lot more work ahead than a swim, so excited for that. Let's hop on the bike. Then second loop of swim, came out of swim, felt really fresh. I really felt like a zone 1, if at all, low zone 2 effort. So I think one part of it is that you're actually rested and fresh, so you feel a bit better, but it was definitely too easy. So if, let's say, you have a better start, I could have easily swum in a group that, let's say, swim 3-4 minutes quicker. There were several groups, there was so many people. I think it was right away from 53, and there was also people behind, of course, but then 50-minute group, 48-minute group, 47-minute group, 46-minute group was kind of the first 10-15, I believe. And if you want to be in the top 10 in European competitive PTO races, you have to be in those top 15. Otherwise, you will never see the front of the race again. So anyways, that's the goal. I want to become the best possible swim, bike, run. Anyways, then I came out of the swim. It's like a nice steep ascent. You're running out, and I was in a nice group. There were, I think, 10 people, and it was really cool. Just already exciting dynamics, and everybody grabbed the bike. You run quick, really quick to transition. That's something that's probably to be just mentally to prepare. You're sprinting through, not just running fast, but you're sprinting. I don't know, what is it, 3-minute pace or 3:30 at least. I mean, fast to transition, so that's something mentally to know. And then you jump on the bike, and I grabbed my bike and I ran around the corner. I was in the 3rd, 4th spot of that group, I believe, somewhere in there, and I ran around the corner, and one of the shoes is not attached to a rubber band, and it kind of spun around, hit the ground, and it just lifted the bike a second, and in that second the chain dropped off, and while I pushed it out of transition, and I had to then stop, and just, it takes 5 or 7 seconds to put it back on, very quick, no problem. But the group dynamics, right? So I got on, and then I lost the connection to the group, and I saw the group was maybe, I don't know, 150 meters ahead, and I knew it's so funny how it completely changes your race, right? It's not like before an age group racing, okay, first 30k, it's so much more fun. Like, you're not thinking I have 180k ahead, it doesn't exist. You have automatically 2 scenarios coming into your life in those races. In a swim area, it's just like immediate goal setting. You're like, you have goals and carrots right away in front of you, so it's much more exciting. Really, I like it so much more fun. So my only existence coming off the bike first stroke was, you go as hard, literally 100%, as hard as you physically can to catch that group. And if you die trying, because those groups I knew, I haven't experienced it like that in those racing, like those group dynamics, but there, I come to that now. But so I did that. I think it was 7 minutes of 330, 350 watts, everything I had. And then you're in the group, and that was interesting. I was in the group 30 minutes, maybe 40 before I got spat out the back. And why that is also we come to now. Those group dynamics, I think you hear those things before. Also me as an age group, I hear about those things. Yeah, you need to be in those groups, and yeah, there's, you know, they don't ride like the age groupers up and down. That's fine and cute to say, but experience it is a very different story. So the way those group works, it's difficult because on the hills they drill it, and entry level drilling is 4.5 watts per kilogram. On the hill is entry level, so more like 5 watts per kilogram. So if you don't have that, you go out the back real quick. And maybe in the beginning they did that more, but I have a feeling the average speeds those guys hit, they did that for sure for 180k. So that's their fitness level, right? So if you want to be in that group and stay in that group, you have to be able to do that on every single hill, 480k. That's the demand, right? So if you do, let's say, 4 times 30 minutes at race pace, steady race pace, to be honest, for pro racing, that's literally useless. So anyways, so when you're in those groups, it's really funny because it changes between 2 modes. One mode is full gas on the hill, and then when you're in the crest of the hill or downhill, you have to be on the brakes. You have the race ranger, the device that shows the distance to the front rider, and when it's orange means you're 70 meters ahead, when it's blue you're 14, but it goes so quick, and that's why people get drafting cards. And I had one scenario, it switched to red. I'm like, there was no referee or anything, but I knew, okay, if it means red, there's only one way, and that means full gas. I was like, okay, I don't know how many people have to pass now, but it was red. I'm not gonna risk just getting disqualified or anything, or like a card. So by accident it goes real quick. So suddenly it's red, and you're okay, well, I don't care, full gas. You have to go full gas, now there's no choice, otherwise you risk the card. Full gas again, and luckily I found then a slot after 5-6 people where I could slot in, but it was luck. If that wouldn't be the case, you have to pass the whole group, and if you die trying, then that's what it is. So but then the other part is also interesting, and that's one reason. I mean, they're all very fit. I take nothing away from those guys. The top 30, all incredibly fit, incredibly amazing. But one part is why they hit so fast average speeds. One reason why they hit so fast average speeds, all of the pros is obviously great cyclists, but those group dynamics. I want to tell a little bit, when you're in the group, I was at some point in 10th place, you're sitting up, and I tell you, your effort level is at 0. You're doing nothing. 180, 200 watts, sitting up, and I look down, 44k an hour. So just to get a grip on when you're in that group and you can do the hills, you get carried along hard. So yeah, anyways, for me it was a great ride. I really finally did what I thought I could. I had 280 watts normalized power, but I also, you know, on purpose, when I was going very fast, I backed off the power a little bit, so getting the fastest average speed. So after those 45 minutes I was on my own, and if you had a group that fit, yeah, you easily take 15 minutes off your bike split for 180k, easily. So the times and splits is one side of the story, but those groups, it's where it's at, to be honest. So there will be a progression. So first you need the fitness to be in those groups, and not just be, it's easy switch to make, because you can just mentally say, hey, I'm becoming a pack rat, right? You're just in there and chilling your ass off and having a great run, because you just ride the hills hard and otherwise you're chilling. But that I don't want. But there will be a progression, of course, from now saying I can't ride in those groups yet to I will be in those groups, but still having to do some work in the group. But you have to contribute. That's just part of the game, I believe. At least I want to do it like that. And then, of course, the step after that is you're in that group and you're strong enough to make attacks to go away from that group. So those are the progressions. So power wise, I can also put it on the screen, very interesting. So what I said before, and that also shows for the data, heart rate wise, I felt super controlled. It was the right way I wanted to be actually. It was like 145 to 150 range, really the aerobic range, not taxed. I felt cardio wise was great. Nutrition was working well at 100 grams per hour on the bike, not overly with salt. It's really going super well with that. Really happy how that works out now. And power wise, I spent, you can go through the zones, so thresholds around 360, 370 watts. Then zone 1 was 25 minutes, that's mostly the downhills. Zone 2, 1 hour 40 between 200 and 270 watts. Then another 1 hour 38 between 270 and 325 watts. Then 35 minutes between 330 and 380 watts. And then 8 minutes over 380 watts. Yes, so heart and lung cardio wise I can do this. Leg wise I was not trained for that. So I knew that a bit with strength before, but I can definitely do this with better training. This and more I can do, but so that's the bike. Then the marathon, I came off the bike, I felt pretty good. I wasn't like toasted energy wise in general until the end, until the finish line. I was super clear. I didn't have any mental lows or like low mood, or so like aerobically and fitness wise on that side of fitness, like the aerobic heart and lungs was really no issue. The limiting factor is the strength, muscular side, and being strong in a sense. So that comes later then. But the run, I think I had yeah, some good kilometers in me. I started really at this also low heart rate. I think again the heart rate was super happy with the 4-minute pace. It was right in there even after the ride and all that. The heart and lungs were not the limiter at all. But what slowed me down then was the muscular side, especially after that ride and having done so many new things now in this ride, in the race. You know, I wanted to take the risk to at least, it was always a slim chance with Kona of course, but I was, you know, trying. I was really trying. I know, okay, there's Sam Long and Trevor Foley. This might be your ticket towards the front, you know. So I tried everything. So I took risks, and it was great. It was a great experience. So I have no regrets for the whole season. I did what I could. Didn't make it to Kona. Okay, too bad. But as you saw, a lot of people that are a long time in the sport and like right now 25th place or something, and had still very good days, and they're far away from Kona. So it's a very high level. And it's exciting me, it motivates me. But the run, yeah, anyways, also good nutrition wise. I didn't vomit or anything like that. But after about 25k, muscular wise, I was pretty much gone with the legs, which is just from the bike, the new stimuli that I had there and haven't done in training. But yeah, the legs and quads were really gone. So 25k till finish was hard. So I tried everything from sodium to carbs, but yeah, I knew it's just from the biking, right? So yeah, that's basically that. And let's go a little bit into what I plan to do moving forward. So two things that, what are the limiting factors, let's say, to be at the front? The number one is obviously general term fitness, right? You're not fit enough to compete, which is explainable, obviously. Background me versus background other people, no problem whatsoever. So there's a lot of people that did tremendous as well, also age groupers did really fast times, and there's no coincidence in it. People in Ironman, it's such an honest sport, that do really well. They trained a lot, they put a lot of good work in over the years. So what my limiting factor is right now is obviously general term fitness. You're not fit enough to compete yet. So, but that I have to break into 2 points. So one is the heart rate aerobic, you know, your heart and lungs side. There I'm actually pretty close, I would say, at least closer. So that is my strong side right now. The limiting factor is, you know, doing those heart intervals like threshold and all those things, being stronger in general. So this is number one, obvious one. You have to work on your fitness, keep grinding, and do it more specific as well and better than I did before, because you have to evolve, right? They have a great setup now with coaching when it comes to bike and run, and also swim. Last things finalized, but I'm really excited to, after having a little bit of a break now, to get back into this, and I'm certain that this will move the limit and, you know, put some of that trying on your own and yeah, put some out of that out of the question. So that's one, obviously train more fitness. But the second part, which is below number one, is still body composition. That's something I have to work on. There's no shot in hell that at 85 kilos you will be able to compete, like none whatsoever. It's not number one focus, but it is a focus. So I'm also there working with someone now that will come. I'll probably make videos about it as well on this channel. And I think some people of you also asked about it, like how to optimize body composition. It's easy to just go into some unhealthy habits there, you know, and that's the last thing I want. So I want someone with guidance that did it before, and you know, health and performance has to be staying the same. So it can be a 6 month process, for example, because in the past I was 78, 80 kilos, and also there, for example, Challenge Davos, there was this uphill, and I did 30 minutes at 370 watts, and that is just a very different game. So for example, let's say right now, let's do a bit of calculation. I think I'm 85 kilos right now. So let's say just on the hills, those uphills right now. So on the hills, let's say in the group, I did 360 watts. That is at 85 kilos, 4.2 watts per kilogram. So that's just a touch higher than 4 watts per kilogram is entry watts per kilogram for Ironman racing pro level on the bike. So that's the hill. So you can, so if I would do the exact same power, let's say 360 again at 80 kilos, that's already 4.5 watts per kilogram. So 4.2 to 4.5. So I have massive gains without, you know, just optimizing body composition, which a lot is upper body still. The legs, I mean, they have to be strong and everything. And also here you have to be strong for swimming, but you have to optimize it. And there I want to work with someone, because if you know, have the potential, if I was 75 kilos right now, for example, I know just how my bones and structures are and everything, that 78, 80 kilograms, that's just my natural, probably around that. I'm not fixing on a number at all. That's another thing. You shouldn't have any weird number fixed goals that easily goes into unhealthy obsession. So I don't care what that number is, but it has to be optimized. And since I was 78, 80 kilograms and I performed very well, I know how that feels to ride like that up a hill. You can just feel, you know, you are moving mass. Even in the flats you can say, what's matter, what's more, but you still have to propel mass forward, right? So weight has to be optimized. And on the run, I remember how I felt being 78, 80 kilograms. It's like, imagine 5 kilo backpack right now, right? So there's something that for bike and run, you can probably, I don't know what the percentage is an improvement, but if let's say over 6 months time, over the winter, gradually, you know, each month, maybe 1 kilo, I don't know what the number is. That's a specialist that can help me with there. But that's also something I'll address, and I'll keep you guys in a loop how to do that with a healthy way and keep the performance up, the training up, so I'm not compromising performance or health for that, right? And I'm happy if it takes, you know, 6 months and really gradually get it optimized, but I have to work on that for sure. So it's not the fat mass, my body fat percentage was at 10% or something, but when I also did those scale things before, those good accurate ones, and there you can just see the weight comes from the muscle mass, right? So that I will optimize. Okay guys, this was it from the race. If you have any other questions, let me know below. Super transparent, telling you everything here, from all the data to how it really is, as much as I can, and how I want to approach this. I became 59th from 60 people, but you have to realize that 28 people quit. So 88 people started and 28 people quit. Some of them had maybe an accident or something happened, they slipped, it was very slippery and rainy and bad weather, but also a lot of people decided to make the, you can call it strategic, to quit, and it's totally okay. I'm not judging anyway, so something you will never hear me judging. They have their choices, and that's fine, but I know personally I will not do that ever. I believe that first, I come from age group racing and the spirit of Ironman. You want to finish that thing, you finish what you started, right? You have to be grateful for your body that you can do this. I know there's some that say, okay, technically maybe 2 weeks later you have done a great race. That might all be true, but I commit to something, and I believe if you open the door to saying, I have always the option to quit in an Ironman where you kind of race for 8 hours and you expect the turbulence of up, down in the mind, I believe that's a massive disadvantage and will not lead to a better performance. So I will always finish unless there's health on the line. So that's my promise to you. If you enjoyed this type of video, feel free to subscribe, and lots more videos coming, lots more of my journey coming. We're literally starting at the very beginning, so I hope that You guys will have the whole journey then from, you know, where we at right now, then to the middle of the pack, to the front of the pack, and eventually, no doubt, to winning. So can't wait to show you the whole journey. I will keep you all in a loop, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.